Hello there, Eliza here, and if things go well, on the day this video goes live, it will be the 20th anniversary of Digimon Frontier. And as I am a huge fan of both Digimon and Power Rangers, and Frontier is usually nicknamed Digi-Rangers as a joke, I thought what if we made it so that the Rangers from the Mighty Morphin Era were given one of the 10 elemental spirits. The trick is I'm going to be doing all 10 Rangers from the 3 seasons of Mighty Morphin, and trying to deduce which one of the elements they would each have without doubling up on anyone. So with that said, let's get started with the easiest amongst them, and that is Tommy. Now, some of you might think that Tommy would be good for the Spirit of Darkness due to the events that led to him being the 6th Ranger, as well as the Spirit of Darkness being the quote-unquote 6th Ranger of the Frontier characters. However, I disagree with that, and think it is more likely to have him have the Spirit of Light. This is due to once he became a good guy, he became essentially the second leader and eventually the full-on leader, as well as his time with the White Ranger power being the longest. And the fact that I think him having the Spirit of Darkness would not work as well as the Spirit of Light, and I think the Spirit of Darkness would fit someone else better. Also, the White Tiger of the White Ranger and the, Garurumon-esque feel of the Spirit of Light works very well together. Next up is Jason, another one that is easy. Jason is the Spirit of Fire. I mean, seriously, could you think of Jason being anything but the Spirit of Fire? Jason proved his courage, and that is a big aspect of the primary Digimon characters, aka the Goggleheads. Plus, the latter forms of the Spirit of Fire remind me of both the T-Rex and Red Dragonzords that Jason has during his time as the Red Ranger. Also, in the comics, he became one of the Omega Rangers during the time after he left being the Red Ranger, and during that time he became the Fire Element Omega Ranger. Following that, let's talk about Billy. Now, you're probably wondering which one I would give Billy. Well, I'm giving him the Spirit of Steel. Billy spends a lot of time tinkering with machines as well as studying, and while many would assume that would make him perfect for the Spirit of Thunder, I honestly think the Spirit of Steel works better. Especially if we look at the ancient form of the Spirit, Ancient Wisemon, which gives me a massive Zordon feel. And in the comics and the show, Billy has always been almost a Zordon in training, which is why it's always been so disappointing that he has never returned as the mentor to a team of Rangers. Up fourth, I want to discuss one of my favorite Rangers, Adam. Now, Adam was the second Black Ranger, for those who don't know, and I think he is the best option to give the Spirit of Darkness. His first Zord he commanded was a Lion Zord, and the Spirit of Darkness has a lot of lion elements about it. Not only that, but his ninja powers were that of a frog, and mythologically speaking, frogs have been both good and bad. Also, we'll see later on the fact that Adam is willing to push himself to extremes to help people out, and yeah, I think the Spirit of Darkness fits Adam quite well when you take a look at that with Koichi as well. At number 5, we are in halfway, and it's about time we talk about one of the girls. And in this case, I'm going to be talking about Kat. Kat was only introduced halfway through the 3rd Mighty Morphin season, but that also makes her an easy one to figure out. Her only Zord is the Crane, a waterfowl, and she is also a former Olympic diver, which means that we should definitely know exactly which spirit she is just from that. She is 100% the Spirit of Wood. Just kidding, she's the Spirit of Water. She is by far the easiest fit, because there's only one fit for her. Moving on to number 6, we have Trini, who is slightly more difficult to fit, but if we look at her Zords and her powers, I think the answer becomes obvious. Her first 2 Zords are a saber-toothed tiger and a quote-unquote griffin, which is actuality a Keyring, and looks like a Keyring, but they named it a griffin because they didn't think American children would know what a Keyring is. Either way, both the saber-toothed tiger and a griffin are creatures of Earth, as griffins were said to have caves of hoarded treasure. If we go beyond this to her time as an Omega Ranger, she is also the Omega Ranger of Earth. So yes, Trini would have the Spirit of Earth. Sorry, Trini. After that, let's move on to one of the last ones to become Omega Rangers, Zack. I will, however, not be giving him the Spirit of Wind because there's a better spirit for him. His first sword was the Mastodon and was filled with ice powers, and he constantly used them. Due to this, I feel the Spirit of Ice works best for him, especially since the Beast Spirit of Ice uses an axe, just like he did, and the ancient form is a giant woolly beast, just like the Mastodon. Now we are down to the final 3, and let's finish off the boys with Rocky. Rocky was almost the most difficult to figure out for me, so I looked between him and the other 2 remaining and was able to figure it out. The reason why is Rocky got the least amount of focus of any Ranger in the Zordon era, and he was around for 3 seasons, which is why I'm looking forward into the comics where he is essentially the only Ranger left on Earth other than the comic book Green Ranger. So they might be able to finally give him something. That said, I eventually settled on the Spirit of Thunder, mostly because in the episodes that do focus on Rocky, they usually have something to do with electronics, like the arcade machine that he was obsessed with for an episode. Second to last, we have Aisha, and hers is the Spirit of Wood. Like Rocky, she doesn't have much, but her main Zords are a bear and a griffin, and bears are commonly seen in the forest, hence the Spirit of Wood. I think it also fits her a bit if you think about how trees are portrayed commonly in media, thoughtful and patient, but capable of destruction, which I think fits her quite well. Also, the ancient form of the Spirit of Wood is a horse, which kind of fixed the fact that the griffin was originally a Kirin, which is another four-legged horse-like creature. But yeah, that's the best I have for her. Rocky and Aisha were literally the least ones I had the least to go on because they didn't get much. Lastly, we have Kimberly, and being since she was just as easy as Tommy, I decided to close out with her. As you can probably guess from the only one left, Kim is the Spirit of Wind because her Zords are the Pterodactyl, Phoenix, and Crane, which are all flying creatures, and she is a gymnast, which most gymnasts are known for leaping and jumping about through the air. Yeah, she's very easy. And with that, let's recap. Tommy is the Spirit of Light, Jason is the Spirit of Fire, Kim is the Spirit of Wind, Billy is the Spirit of Steel, Trini is the Spirit of Earth, Zack is the Spirit of Ice, Aisha is the Spirit of Wood, Rocky is the Spirit of Thunder, Adam is the Spirit of Darkness, and Kat is the Spirit of Water. I think that works out quite well, though I am sorry to Trini for having the power of the most annoying of the 10 warriors. Anyways, I thought this would be a good, quick, fun video, and I hope you all enjoyed it. If you enjoyed this video and want to like and subscribe, I have a Patreon if you want to help make this channel better, which gives you access to my scripts in advance, and a Discord channel. I also have a Twitter where you can talk to me if you are over the age of 18. I also have a GoFundMe I'm promoting to create a community home for LGBT people who have experienced homelessness and abuse. Thanks as always goes to the artist for creating my avatar. Link to them is in the description. And special thanks this time to the YouTuber I watched that gave me the idea for this video, Carney X. It was his mention of it being the Frontier anniversary that gave me this idea.
Again, I thank you all for watching and hope to see you next time.